Browns QB Shedeur Sanders makes post after Pickett injury. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders posted his first set of training camp highlights on social media, and the timing of the post drew some interesting comments. Sanders' Instagram post featured Jay-Z's "Streets is Watching" playing in the background, a nod to the scrutiny surrounding his push for the starting job. The former Colorado standout is one of 4 quarterbacks competing in camp, joining veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett and fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. The post came hours after it was reported that Pickett, seen by many as the frontrunner for the starting job, suffered a hamstring injury that will force him to miss some time. Pickett injury literally perfect timing, first team reps wide open now gang, a fan said in one of the hundreds of comments on the post. They can't help but to give you those reps now. Let's make it happen 12, another added. We want Shedeur, another exclaimed. Browns QB Shedeur Sanders not worried about limited reps. The Browns have not released an official depth chart, but Sanders has mostly functioned as the low man on the depth chart. He has not received any reps with the starting offense. However, Sanders is still thankful for the opportunity and is embracing his chances. I don't think that's my place to give the answer to that, Sanders said. I feel like that it's not in my control, so I'm not going to think about that or even have that in my thought process of why it is. There's a lot of people who want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is. It doesn't make me feel down or left out because I know who I am as a person. I know who I am as an individual, and I know what I could bring to this team. So, I can never feel less than any circumstance. Browns yet to establish timeline for Kenny Pickett's return. Pickett's injury was first reported by ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter, who said the former first-round pick suffered the injury near the end of Saturday's practice. Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com said it's possible Pickett could be out weeks, adding that there is no timeline for a return set. The Browns traded for Pickett in March, bringing him over from the Philadelphia Eagles. Pickett was a backup in Philadelphia to Jalen Hurts, but he started his career in Pittsburgh. He spent 2 years as the starter with the Steelers, posting a 14-10 record. He recorded 4,474 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions in a Steelers uniform. Pickett's play in camp had drawn positive reviews, particularly from QB coach Bill Musgrave. His first 2 days have been stellar, Musgrave said of Pickett. He had one throw where he was late yesterday and resulted in an interception, which is okay. We don't want interceptions. But at times we learn a lot from when we stub our toe even more than when we have our triumphs. He's had his share of triumphs these last 2 days, especially throwing on the run. Incredibly accurate for just jumping back into camp after us being off for a number of weeks this summer. The Browns' first preseason game is scheduled for August 8th against the Carolina Panthers. The afternoon sun dipped low over the Cleveland Browns practice fields, casting long shadows over the orange and brown jerseys running drills. But the chatter among reporters wasn't about the deep ball Shedeur Sanders had just threaded between 2 safeties. It wasn't about Joe Flacco taking a veteran day or Dorian Thompson-Robinson sprinting through reps. It was about the other side of the NFL world, about Pittsburgh and about Kenny Pickett. Word had spread like wildfire. Pickett, the Steelers' starting quarterback, had gone down in practice with what looked like a serious knee injury. Social media exploded with speculation. Talk shows replayed the grainy clip over and over, and in locker rooms across the league, players whispered. In Berea, Shedeur Sanders sat on the edge of his locker, scrolling through the news on his phone. His mind buzzed. Pickett wasn't just a division rival. He was the quarterback whose name had been mentioned every time someone questioned Shedeur's potential. Can he outplay Pickett? Pickett already has the AFC North figured out. Shedeur's no Pickett. But now Pickett was hurt, the Steelers were scrambling, and the AFC North had just tilted into something unpredictable. Later that evening, Shedeur drove home through the soft rain tapping on his windshield. The city lights blurred through the drops, and the notifications on his phone kept piling up. Friends texting. Yo bro, you see that Pickett news? Division wide open now fire. Time to shine, too. He didn't answer. Not yet. He parked in his driveway, killed the engine, and sat in silence. He thought of the journey here, leaving Colorado, entering the NFL with all the weight of his father's name, being told day after day that Flacco was the safer option, that rookies should wait their turn. He thought of that play in yesterday's scrimmage, when he'd rolled right, dodged a linebacker, and dropped a 50-yard bomb into Amari Cooper's hands. The sideline had erupted. Even Stefanski, ever stoic, had cracked a grin. And he thought of Pickett, of rivalry, of respect, of the brutal truth that in the NFL, fortunes change in an instant. Back inside, his phone buzzed again. Instagram, Twitter, Threads. The world was talking. But Shedeur didn't want to join the noise with cliches. He didn't want to be just another athlete tweeting prayers up. He wanted to say something real. He opened Instagram first. The screen lit his face in the dim light of his apartment. He scrolled through his camera roll until he found it, a photo from that day's practice. Him in mid-throw, body coiled, eyes locked downfield. The ball a blur. He stared at it for a long moment, then started typing. Caption: In this league, nothing's promised. Every snap could be your last. Every rep could be the one that changes everything. Respect to Kenny Pickett. You're a competitor, and you'll come back stronger. I know that. As for me, I'm staying ready. Every day. Every throw. Because opportunity doesn't knock twice in the NFL, and when the door opens, you better be ready to run through it. Hashtag prayers up, hashtag stay ready, hashtag Browns. He hesitated before posting, thumb hovering over the button. Would it be seen as opportunistic? Would fans accuse him of celebrating a rival's injury? But no, the words felt true. This wasn't about gloating. This was about acknowledging the fragility of the game and declaring, quietly but firmly, that he was prepared for whatever came next. He hit share. Within minutes, the post blew up. Thousands of likes. Comments flooding in. Steelers Nation 86. Respect bro, appreciate the love for KP. Brown fan for life. Yeser QB 1 loading orange heart brown heart. Gridiron reporter. Shedeur Sanders just sent a message to the whole division. Sports radio hosts picked it up the next morning. Did you see Shedeur's post? That's a young man who understands the league. He's not out here begging for a job. He's showing he's ready when his number's called. Even Stefanski mentioned it in a presser. I saw what Shedeur posted. That's who he is, mature beyond his years. He knows this game takes everything from you if you're not prepared. We're lucky to have him.